Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing, and I've got a special track guide for you. It's the F4 at Long Beach, and it's not me behind the wheel, it is my good friend Louis Foster. For those of you that don't know him, he's an IndyCar driver. He was the 2024 Indy Next champion, where he dominated the season with Andretti Global, winning 8 races and getting 12 podiums. He's now stepped up to full IndyCar, where he's just finished a weekend racing around Long Beach with Rahal Letterman Racing. Louis is one of the most exciting young talents in open wheel racing, and a huge thank you to him for taking part. So if you do have any questions or you wonder why I'm so much slower, let me know in the comments, and at the end of the normal guide here I will actually put up my lap side by side with Louis so you can see how much faster he is than me and where I go wrong. Right, anyway, let's start the hot lap. Alright, just before we start the hot lap, couple of things. Louis is using the fixed iRacing Long Beach setup, 55% brake bias, and you'll notice his telemetry traces just how hard he brakes initially before trailing off. Much better technique than I use, but that's what you would expect. I was very happy with my lap, which came in at a 1:18.1. We'll see what he does now, and afterwards, after we do the breakdown, that's when I'll do a comparison of mine and his. So here he is, smashing it down the main straight. He could not get any closer to that inside wall here. He moves over to the right-hand side for turn 1. Just after the 300, brakes really hard, drops it down to third. As we come here to turn 2, that little roundabout fountain. Tiny dab on the brakes, back on the gas, arrest that little slide. Really aggressive here over the curbs. Almost takes off, up to 4th gear, up to 5th, looks for the 200 meters, down to 3rd gear, back on the gas, exits really wide, keeping all that speed going. 200 meters coming up now, down to 3rd, on the gas ahead of that inside wall, just misses them both. How he does this in real life, knowing that it's a very expensive and painful crash. Glad that he made it through the weekend okay. Really hard braking here going into turn 9. Back over to the right hand side. Lift here through 10. Back on the gas. Little lift again. Brakes hard now for turn 11. Very, very tight hairpin into 1st gear. Get that full control over the car at every point as he charges towards the line for a 1:17.698. So I did a 1:18.1. I was thrilled with that lap. But Louis is something else. Right, let's do a breakdown of it before we do the side-by-side comparison. Okay, breakdown lap. Right, first braking marker, just after the 300. So, so as you see, just as we get to 300, he brakes up to sort of 90%, wipes all that speed off, drops it down to 3rd ahead of the inside turn here. He starts getting back on at the apex, manages to get it up to full speed, nice and early doors. Leaves it in 3rd gear here as we come up to the fountain roundabout, and the braking marker, as you can see, just where I am now. So it's just before the white lines that come up ahead. And now here he brakes up to about 75%, wipes off that speed, drops it down to 2nd, and again, he's got full lock over to the right-hand side, starts building back up on the gas, and look how early he's on 100%, well ahead of the apex of turn 3. Back over to the left-hand side, up to 3rd gear, and all he's going to do here is a tiny dab on the brakes, tiny dab, only up to sort of 12%, so he's not actually slowing the car there, he's just getting the weight over those front tyres. And now he waits and waits and waits, and as you can see, just as he leaves that curb, he goes back up to 100%. And his next braking marker is going to be just before the advertising hoardings on the left-hand side here, and he brakes up to about 42%, but look how aggressive he is on this curbing here. The center of his car is right over that curb, and then he gets back onto 100%. Gets nice and tight up against the exit wall. Up to 4th gear. He's going to go up to 5th gear. He's looking for the 200 meter board, and as he gets there, he's going to brake up to 90% straight away. Trails that off down to 3rd. And then as we get to the apex here, again, you couldn't get much in between the left-hand side of his car and the wall. He starts building back up to full power. Allows him to exit nice and wide, maintaining that speed. Looking for the 200 meter board on the left-hand side, as you can see here. well, you would be able to see, but the halo's in the way. 200-meter board, that's when he brakes up to about 70%. Quick trail off, drops it down to third. He starts getting back on the gas, as you can see, nice and early doors. Just misses that inside wall. I would be flinching. I don't know how people do this in real life, not on a simulator. So as he's at the apex, he's nearly back onto full throttle. He just waits that instance before going back up to it. Straightens the car out just before he hits the wall. Final braking marker is going to be the 300-meter board that he's just going past now. He brakes briefly up to 100%, wipes that speed off, down to fourth, down to third, still trailing off now. It starts building back up on the gas as he's actually on the curbing, can get back up to full gas once his car settles down and it's re-landed from the curbs. Straightens it out, takes a nice wide entry here into turn 10. Now we do a full lift, as you can see, gets back on the gas, not quite up to full, up to about 75%, and then again a lift. Now once he straightens that wheel, that's when he's able to get back on the brakes here, where he holds it up to about 55%, gets right, look at the lock there, 180 degrees, so his left hand is now fully over his right hand, gets nice and tight to the barrier, and then starts building back up on the gas. Fully back at 100% at this stage, whilst he's still got a hefty amount of lock, 90 degrees. Straightens the car out and goes over and across the line. Right, that's the breakdown. I'll now do the side-by-side comparison without my chunnering on, and then after that will come the driving line version. For those of you that don't know him, he's an IndyCar driver. IndyCar driver. He was the 2020. '24 Indy Next champion, where he dominated the season with Andretti Global.